Home prices are surging across the U.S. Hello and welcome to Ozarks News Brief. I'm Maddie Augustine.
And I'm Shadiah Tomlin. The newest National Home Price Index has been released by CoreLogic.
A nationwide manhunt is underway after an Alabama corrections officer and an inmate charged with murder vanished. They've been missing for more than 72 hours. Investigators now believe the officer may be behind the inmate's escape. Isabella Rosales reports. The policy known as Title 42 revolves around two major issues for the Biden administration: border security and the COVID-19 pandemic. The Biden administration was planning to lift the restriction next month, but on Monday, a potential hurdle appeared. John Lawrence reports.
The national conversation centering around abortion this week. Hello and welcome to Ozarks News Brief. I'm Joe Patrick.
And I'm Maddie Augustine. This coming after a leaked document from the U.S. Supreme Court suggesting a reversal of Roe v. Wade. Ozarks News Brief reporter Ryan Smith has been following the story. He joins us live from downtown Springfield. Ryan? Thanks, Ryan. We will now turn things over to CNN reporter Amy Kiley with a look at reaction from around the nation.
We will not! I'm Demaya Grimes.
Thanks, Demaya. Masks may be off on airplanes, but the pandemic is not over yet. The American Academy of Pediatrics reports COVID cases are rising in children. More than 53,000 kids tested positive last week. That's up 44% from the previous week. This marks the third consecutive week of increased cases. Johns Hopkins University reports cases are up for all age groups in most states. COVID numbers are still down significantly from their peak in January, though. The Biden administration is working to make Pfizer's antiviral COVID-19 pill more widely available. The White House is set to announce new details Monday on Paxlovid, which the FDA authorized in December. According to tweets over the weekend by the White House's COVID-19 response coordinator, the administration is working on establishing more places where Paxlovid will be available. That includes more test-to-treat sites where people can get free COVID testing, and if they test positive, can be prescribed free antiviral meds on the spot. Millions are facing the threat of tornadoes in the Great Plains as critical fire danger intensifies in parts of the Southwest. Mike Valerio has the latest. This week, 3 bills focused on the issue of transgender student athletes were up for debate in Missouri. 2 of the bills restrict trans students from playing on teams matching their gender identity. The bills would also allow school districts to hold votes on whether to ban transgender female students from girls' teams. Democrats call the legislation unnecessary for targeting just a handful of athletes in the state. Thanks, Ryan. The annual Drug Take-Back Day is this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Agencies around the Ozarks are partnering with the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration to collect your unused medications. This event helps prevent medication misuse, opioid addiction, and environmental contamination by ridding homes of expired, unused, and unwanted prescription drugs. The Greene County Sheriff's Office and Battlefield Police Station are 2 of the main locations in Springfield. Vital escape routes for Ukrainians were under attack on Monday after Russia struck 5 railway stations. The state railway companies said 5 train stations were struck in central and western Ukraine. The railway attack comes just a day after U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin made an unannounced visit to the region. The U.S. has promised to keep working to get weapons to Ukraine to battle the strong attacks from Russia. About 5,000 nurses in California are on strike. The nurses at Stanford Healthcare and Lucy Packard Children's Hospital say they are understaffed with little mental health support. They are asking the hospitals for more money and better health care. The nurses' labor contract expired on March 31st. Since then, the union and the hospital system haven't been able to reach an agreement. A school bus full of students in Albuquerque was tipped over after a Mustang crashed into it. Police say the driver of the Mustang was racing with another vehicle and was going 80 miles per hour when he crashed into the bus, causing it to fall to its side. At one point, the vehicle got up to 110 miles per hour. 23 students from George Sanchez Middle School were on board, and 2 were severely injured. Missouri State baseball snapped their losing streak over the weekend, winning all 3 games against Valparaiso. The Bears' offense exploded, putting up 23 runs between the 2 games of Saturday's doubleheader, before adding a 6-1 win on Sunday to close out the series. The Bears kept their winning streak going with wins over Mizzou and St. Louis this week. MSU will travel to Indiana State tomorrow to open a weekend series against the Sycamores. The St. Louis Cardinals hammered the New York Mets last night, 10-5. The Cardinals ended their 3-game losing skid with the win and now sit at 10-7 on the year, 1 game behind the Brewers in the division. St. Louis will continue their homestand tonight with the first game of a 4-game series against the Arizona Diamondbacks. The first round of NBA playoffs is winding down, with 4 teams on the verge of elimination. Chris Paul scored 22 as the Suns took Game 5 against the Pelicans to take a 3-2 series lead. Tonight, the Raptors look to force a Game 7 against the 76ers in Toronto, and the Dallas Mavericks try to send the Utah Jazz home in Game 6. The semifinal round of the playoffs begins this Sunday. A sequel is in the works for The Batman, and Robert Pattinson will return in the title role. The director of the first film delivered the news at an annual trade show for theater owners this week. Matt Reeves said he'll write and direct the sequel. Warner Brothers released The Batman in theaters in March and scored the biggest opening weekend of 2022.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. But that's going to do it for us today. For all of us here at Ozarks News Brief, I'm Joe Patrick.
And I'm Maddie Augustine. Thanks for watching, and remember to follow us on ozarksnewsbrief.com.